I want to painfully step through this one line of code here, which in Dimple binds our data to the SVG that we want to draw the chart in. Replacing this line of code in dimple.js with the equivalent D3 statement, we can see here that in D3 there's actually 5 functions we have to run. While using D3's chainable syntax, we could write this all on one line. I think it's much more clear of what's happening when you write each new function call on a separate line. I wanted to step through each one of these function calls, and in the web browser's Chrome console, I want to inspect what gets passed in and what gets returned from each. As you can see here, I put a debugger before and after the D3 code that binds data to our SVG object in circles, and I also commented out adding the header title, since we're not actually going to be drawing the entire chart, but walking through only the data binding process. And the last bit of code I've added are some diagrams visually explaining the data binding process to the web page itself as an image. Opening up the Chrome debugger tools by going to the top right menu, scrolling down to Tools, the JavaScript console, we can see here the console threw an error since we removed the dimple.js code that actually created the chart. Let's refresh the page so our debugger catches before any of the chart code. After reloading the page, you can see here the first debugger statement caught. What I'll be showing on the web page itself are some diagrams I created that visually explain what's happening with the D3 code here. Before we call the .data function, all we have is simply SVG on the page and our worldcup.tsv data file, which has been loaded via AJAX using the D3 convenience function. If we inspect our data variable, just like previously, it's a JavaScript array, in this case with 836 elements, each of which is an object with a bunch of fields. Remember that the Chrome developer tools provided a convenience function to print out a tabular representation of a data file such as this.